Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So as promised many moons ago, I have decided to do a video about how to treat blepharitis. Now blepharitis is something that some of you may have and not realize that you have it. It may be something that one of you or two of you get in the future and this may help you, or this also may be a video that will help some of you that have had it for quite a long time and just don't know how to deal with it. I am at the moment in the middle of suffering from a blepharitis flare-up. The last time this happened to me, and that was the first time it ever happened to me, was about 10 to 12 years ago. Lo and behold, I thought once it had gone, it would never come back again. But unfortunately, it is one of those things that does not have a cure, but it can only be managed. And as long as you know how to manage it successfully, you can stop a flare-up in its tracks, stop it getting worse, and deal with it sooner rather than later. Now, the first time that I had it, I had no idea what it was. I'd never come across it in my life. Half of my doctors didn't even know what it was. So unfortunately, there have been cases of it being misdiagnosed. I was told it was eczema, it was dermatitis, da-da-da. I'm going to read from you from the NHS's website what it actually is. For those of you who are outside of the UK, the NHS is the National Health Service that we have in the UK, which is basically free healthcare for all of us here, which comes out of our taxes. So it says blepharitis is a common condition where the edges of the eyelids, so right there where your eyelashes are, become red and swollen. So your eyelid margins become inflamed. Blepharitis can develop at any age, and these are the symptoms generally speaking. Itchy, sore and red eyelids that stick together, me. A burning, gritty sensation in your eyes, last time but not this time. Increased sensitivity to light, last time, not this time, because at the moment it's a very mild flare-up I'm going through. Swollen eyelid margins, yep, right now. Finding contact lenses uncomfortable to wear. At the time when that happened to me, I was not able to wear contact lenses for the entire year. 12 months, I had to wear my glasses. Right now, I am wearing contact lenses, and that's because I know that I can. If I had thought that it had travelled elsewhere, as in it's only on the tops of my eyes and not on the bottom eyelids, I'm generally okay. Abnormal eyelash growth or loss of eyelashes in several cases. A lot of my eyelashes have fallen out, but that is mostly because of me rubbing my eyes in terms of taking care of them, which unfortunately you have to do in order to take care of your eyes. When you've got blepharitis, you do have to rub your eyelash area, which causes some eyelashes to fall out. But thankfully I'm not bald and there are still hairs there. And what may happen is that you may also find that they grow awkwardly, like that way, poking you in the eye, unfortunately. In most cases, both eyes are affected, but one eye can be more affected than the other. This is my problem eye. This eye, I think the blepharitis has actually gone, but it's still affecting this one. And the symptoms tend to be worse in the morning. And the reason that is because your eyes are closed. Your body naturally kind of is a little bit swollen when you wake up. If you look at yourself in the mirror, your face is a bit puffy, eyes are a bit puffy. If you've got blepharitis, that area will also be quite inflamed. And because of the sleep in your eyes are sticky, gooey. That's when they try to heal. So it tends to be more swollen in the morning. Now, yes, there are loads of medications and various different things out there. But the stuff that I'm going to show you is my tried and tested stuff done through research as well as using it on myself. And the reason why I've actually decided to do this video is because I have managed to solve how to sort this problem out for myself. And that's the reason why I wanted to share it with you guys, so that hopefully I can, even if I'm able to only help one person, that would be more than enough for me. Now it says this is how blepharitis is generally treated in accordance with the NHS. It's usually a long-term condition. Most people experience repeated episodes separated by periods without symptoms. 12 years. It can't be cured, usually, but a daily eyelid cleaning routine can help control the symptoms and prevent permanent scarring of the eyelid margins. The eyelid margins, again, being that area between your eyelashes and your eyelid. There are 3 main steps to eyelid hygiene that should be performed once or twice a day. Using a warm compress to make the oil produced by the glands around your eyes more runny. Because what the thing is with blepharitis is the oil glands that you naturally have on your eyelids, they become blocked. There can be various different reasons they can become blocked, and then that is what causes them to swell, inflame, etc. So what you really need to do is you need to get your eyelids to such a temperature that those oil glands break down and they can be pushed out. You cannot see those oil glands, you cannot see the oil being pushed out. It's all very invisible to the naked eye, which is a little bit annoying. Massaging your eyelids to push out the oil from the glands. Cleansing your eyelids to wipe away any excess oil and remove any crustiness, bacteria, dust or grime that may have built up. In severe cases you may need antibiotics, but I have never had to take any antibiotics, and again I'm going to share with you my more natural kind of remedies. There are 3 different types of blepharitis, which is important to know. Anterior blepharitis, where the inflammation affects the skin around the base of your eyelashes. That is what I am suffering from at the moment. The next one being posterior blepharitis, where the inflammation affects your meibomian glands found along the eyelid margins behind the base of the eyelashes. And then mixed blepharitis, a combination of both anterior and posterior. Now it says anterior blepharitis can be caused by either a reaction to a staphylococcus, this is why I wasn't a doctor, a staphylococcus bacteria. These usually live harmlessly on the skin of many people, but for unknown reasons they can cause the eyelids to become inflamed. Or seborrheic dermatitis, which is here, a skin condition that causes skin to become oily or flaky and sometimes irritate the eyelids, causing the meibomian glands to block. And that is what has happened to me. Posterior blepharitis is caused by a problem within the meibomian glands. Am I even saying that right? Meibomian glands, where the glands get blocked either by debris, skin flakes or inflammation. Skin flakes means dandruff, flaky skin, eczema, that sort of stuff. Sufferer. Sometimes it can be related to rosacea, it also says. It's also not contagious, so if you see somebody with blepharitis and somehow you touch them, you're fine, don't worry. It's not normally serious, but it can cause a lot of problems. For example, many people with blepharitis also develop dry eye syndrome. Hello, dry eye syndrome here. But the eyes don't produce enough tears or dry out too quickly. It happens to me. I have to use eye drops, and I will be sharing with you which eye drops I use, which are also okay to use for contact lens wearers. Serious sight-threatening problems are rare, etc, etc. Basically, it is a very, very irritating, very stressful condition. Now, you can imagine the first time this happened to me when I was 23 or 24. I didn't used to actually wear that much eye makeup, didn't used to wear false eyelashes. I used to wear mascara, a little bit of eyeshadow and a little bit of eyeliner, but that was it. Very different to how I am now. And what had happened was I woke up in the morning, my eyes felt itchy, I put some eye drops in, didn't think anything of it, put my contact lenses in, went on with my day. As the day went on, my eyes became more and more gritty, felt itchy, and I ignored it. Following day, I was having the same problem, noticed that my eyes had become a little bit swollen, didn't think anything of it, thought it's probably eczema because I've suffered from eczema since I was 7 years old, and again, did nothing about it. Because I didn't know what it was, I didn't do anything. Now that I know what to do and what not to do. And what not to do is to continue to wear your contact lenses, Charlena. The more that I wore them, the drier my eyes got, because if you can imagine, your contact lens is something false sitting on top of your eyeball. Not all contact lenses can let the air and the oxygen get to your eyes properly. I'm actually about to change up my contact lenses to one that lets in oxygen, because things have changed a lot obviously in the past 10 to 15 years. I am going to link what they are for you in the info box below, because I haven't got them on me, just in case any of you are interested on what the latest ones on the market are for people that suffer with severely dry eye. Anyway, as the days progressed, I continued to wear mascaras, continued to wear eye makeup, continued to wear contact lenses. One day, you guys, I woke up in the morning and I could not open either of my eyes, as in they were glued and swollen shut. You know what a boxer looks like in round God knows 8? You know when they've been punched and punched and punched and their eyes are literally shut? My eyes were like that. I looked like an ogre. I looked like I belonged in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it was awful. It was horrible. Panic attack. I started to panic. I can't see. I couldn't go to work. My mum had to call in my office because I couldn't see my phone to call them. Went to the doctors and they said, yeah, it's something called blepharitis. Here's this ointment, here's that ointment, here's this. Clean your eyes, blah, blah. They did not really help me at all. And back then, the internet was still around 10, 15 years ago, but it wasn't as advanced as it is now. Whereas if you type in blepharitis into the internet, there are loads of different articles out there, loads of different instructions, loads of different stories and experiences of people. It was not so then, especially because I didn't know what it was myself. It turns out that somebody who suffers from keratoconus, which I do have, I've had to have cross-linking surgery on both my eyes to stop my eyeballs turning into a rugby shape, and it has worked, touch wood, it's still okay. Eczema, dry eye syndrome, dermatitis, hay fever, I suffer from rhinitis. I have to take a very strong antihistamine every day so that I can breathe. It's called fexofenadine. I've tried steroid sprays, even they wouldn't work. These things are all linked together, unfortunately. I can't even have like 5 or 6 pistachios without coming out in spots, but luckily most normal nuts I tend to be okay with. But you will generally find that if you do suffer from blepharitis, 9 times out of 10, out of all those things I've mentioned, you probably have one of those as well. Now that I've done a little bit of a chat, and I hope I haven't bored you too much, I'm now going to go into how I look after my eyes. Now, about 6-7 weeks ago, I felt the itchiness on my eyelids. I knew exactly what that itchiness was. I was like, great, blepharitis has come back to ruin my 30s. I thought I'd left it behind in my 20s, but no, it reared its ugly head. A couple of times I wore my liquid eyeliner and false lashes. When I pulled off the false lashes, it would inflame and really make my eyelids really angry. The edges of my eyelids were completely red and swollen. From a distance, it looked like I had red eyeliner on. It was like literally a line of swollen red. Now, the first thing that I'm going to tell you guys, how to stop instantly that itching and that swelling and that inflammation before you can move on to other things that will help it. This is premium Manuka honey from New Zealand. This is the best honey in the world. If it has not come from New Zealand, it is not legit Manuka honey. Now, the best kind of Manuka honey to use, and this isn't just for your eyes, this is for general purposes. I mean, it's got anti-inflammatory properties within it, antifungal, and it basically kills bacteria, and it's an amazing antioxidant to use even for your internal health as well as your physical health. You can put this on a cut, it'll help it to heal. The one thing about this is, because you will come across these in Sainsbury's and Waitrose, yeah, but is it any good? It's the potency of this. Now, this one, it says here, tested 525 plus MGO. The MGO rating is the important thing to let you guys know how potent and how strong your Manuka honey is. This one that I bought was from Holland and Barrett, and I got it on sale for like £24. On its own, it was like 60 quid. And then the higher up MGO was 600 and something, and that was like £80, and I just could not justify it. So I got this on sale, and trust me, ain't no one in my house touching this. You're not having this on your toast in the morning. This is hidden in my bedroom. It's so expensive. And what I do is I use a cotton bud, and then I apply it right on top of the blepharitis, a very light layer. Instantly, the itching stops. Straight away, you get immediate relief. I cannot rave about this highly enough. And then what I tend to do is I leave it on for about 20 minutes or so. Try not to get it in your eyes. Yes, it can leak into your eyes, especially if you're quite warm, you're sitting near the radiator or whatever. It will burn your eyes, but don't worry, your eyes won't drop out. And then what I do is I use a very warm towel or a flannel or anything like that, as hot as possible, which is bearable, and then I very gently wipe it off. But if the inflammation is quite raw and it's quite intense, I will not use a flannel, because that will just irritate the inflammation. I will literally use my bare hands, and I will just, with warm water, just cleanse it off, and that is it. I will go to bed, and in the morning the inflammation would have been reduced by at least 60-70%. Do the same thing the next night, and by day 3 that inflammation should be totally gone, and a lot of the itchiness should have gone as well. However, like I said, I use this in conjunction with other products. I will also mention about the dry skin and everything like that. Alright, so now that I have rinsed it all off, it feels nice and soft. One thing I just have to remind you again, just because I want to save so many of you so much pain and time and effort that can be spent in trying to deal with this, and you're actually making things worse, do not try to rub your eyes too much when you are trying to clean them and keep them clean. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is what I do after I've done this. So now that I've done this, my eyes are all feeling slightly soft. I just use water to rinse off the honey itself and let it get to work. Now, again, I told you I do this at night. I ain't obviously going to be walking around with this on my face during the daytime with my eyelids getting stuck together. A lot of this stuff that I'm showing you is also a combination of things, and it'll be down to how bad your blepharitis is and what your skin type is like. and understanding how it will work for you. Some of these things may work for you, some of them may not. I do a variety of different things, like I've said. I only tend to really use the honey when the blepharitis is still fresh. I haven't had to use it a lot recently. In the past 2 weeks, I've probably used it once, because this eye got slightly flary because I rubbed it too much in removing the dead skin. Now what happens is, once the inflammation has gone, the blepharitis is still there. And what happens is you get a layer of crusty, dry skin right on top of your eyes, and you have to try and get rid of that and keep that area moist while it heals, because that dry skin just looks scaly and nasty, and it is because your eyelid area is all blocked up. Those oil glands are all blocked. So what I do is, in order to treat it, and this is one thing that I do every single night, is I mix pure 100% tea tree oil along with pure extra virgin cold pressed 100% raw organic coconut oil. This is 500 ml. It's called Vita Coco coconut oil, and I bought this from Boots. It's absolutely massive, 500 ml. This is mine, even though I swear somebody in my house has been using this, because I swear I didn't use that much. That's what happens when you live with 7 people. There's always someone touching your stuff, you know. And it is completely solid. And that is because that is how natural coconut oil actually looks. It does not come in a liquidated oil form. This is what happens when it is cold. And as we are in a heated room right now, this is eventually going to start to get melt down. Now what I do is I will take a big lump of this, let it sit on the top of my hand and let it melt. And then I will take one drop, I cannot emphasize enough, one drop of tea tree oil, 100% tea tree oil, and drop that into this, mix them, and then I apply it all over my lid. Again, tea tree oil, very similar to honey, that it is, again, it even says on it, antifungal, antibacterial, antiseptic, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and kind to the skin. Bear in mind, please do a patch test on yourself beforehand. Not everybody's skin can cope with 100% pure oil in any form. Be careful. Now I have managed to get this into my eyes a couple of times, same as the Manuka oil. It does burn, it does sting, it lasts for a couple of minutes, then it goes. It will not burn your eye sockets out of your heads, but just be careful. And this actually does burn a lot more than the honey does. And then I literally rub it all over my eyes, and then I go to bed. In the morning, obviously it's rubbed off on my pillows, and then I will show you the next routine of what I do in the morning. All right, now that I've done that for you, you can see how it is, and it is getting into my eyes and it's slightly burning, and my eyes are starting to get a bit funny because I normally do this at night. Obviously I'm doing this in the middle of the day and I've got my contact lenses in, so I'm gonna have to wipe this off in a second just so that I can show you guys the rest of the video. But it will start to leak into your eyes because it is oil. At least the honey's got a little bit of stick to it. But this is oil, and coconut oil is the best oil to use. Again, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant and anti-everything. I got my one from Superdrug. Very, very affordable, and it lasts a really long time as long as you make sure that you only use one drop. So let me just go clean this off, and then I will come back and I'll show you the rest. Imagine, gone to sleep, woken up in the morning, eyelids feel lovely and soft. They're not itchy. They're only a little bit inflamed. The inflammation has gone down, but we now have to move on with the next step. Next step, and this was actually recommended by my optician, and you can, everywhere where I buy these, I will link below. When I bought these from the optician, this one is called Optase tea tree oil lid wipes. It cost me £10 in Specsavers, but then I used the online chemist that I use for other things, and it was like £7. Within this box comes 20 sterile eyelid wipes for daily eye hygiene. So they come in a packet like these. You get 10 of these packets, and in it you can rip the middle, and then you have got one left in here. And inside here is one tea tree oil lid wipe. It's the same sort of reason where I've already said that tea tree oil is one of the best things to use for cleansing and killing bacteria and whatnot, and that is why they have created it into these kind of lid wipes, which will keep your entire area clean, healthy and bacteria free. I tend to use with these is I use these for both my eyelids. I switch the sides, and make sure that your hands are completely clean so that there is no cross-contamination. When you do something with one eye, do not use the exact same thing on the other eye. So they've got a little instruction thing on here, and remember, this will, if you use one of these a day, it will last you 20 days, so it will last you up to about a month, as long as you make sure you use it every day. It's always not necessary the better your eyes get, but you'll start to kind of learn how your body is. So it explains on here what the Optase TTO lid wipes are. It says that they contain tea tree oil and hyaluronic acid, as well as other ingredients to create a unique and gentle preservative-free formulation. Hyaluronic acid, this is important by the way, is a natural substance found in many organs of the human body, including the eye. Its special feature is that it moisturizes and soothes the eyelids and can help improve eyelid elasticity. Tea tree oil is a natural essential oil from the Australian native plant. Our concentration of TTO was chosen to provide the optimal level of comfort. And the thing with these are they're slightly serrated. They've got slight little bumps on them, and you can see that there is a ridge kind of in the middle. So what I tend to use is I tend to use the top half for one eye, bottom half for the other. So I'll go like this, just the top half, place it on top of my eye like this. It does not burn your eyes, it does not hurt your eyes, it does nothing. So if you get it even inside your eye, it's perfectly fine. And then I rub backwards and forwards. Gently, gently. As gently as possible. If you have got loose skin hanging around there, you may see it starting to try to come off. Do not pull it off as much as you want to. Let it naturally come off on its own by using this. What I have found myself is that when I have rubbed it too much and I can see dry skin trying to come off, I'm pressing hard and it is coming off, but at the same time it's inflaming my eye again, and then all I've done is set myself back 5 days. So just be gentle. And what I do is I will open up my eye and rub between, underneath the eyelashes. And again, see, it doesn't burn, it's pushing my eyelashes upwards, but it's also cleaning any crustiness that may be hiding underneath my eyelashes, under there. Any dry skin that's hiding under there. I can't see any at the moment because my blepharitis is almost gone. I know it's definitely, I would say it's 99% gone from that eye, but I'm going to continue doing this until I'm 100% sure it's completely gone. So again, just keep rubbing. Try not to rub too hard, especially if the inflammation is still quite fresh. When the days go on and the inflammation has dropped bit by bit by bit, you may find that you can be a little bit more abrasive. And then what happens is, rather than use this, this is where this comes in handy, a good old flannel. So again, I will flip this over, fold it over my finger just to finish, and then again keep rubbing, just so that I'm not wasting this. I mean, these ain't cheap, so I need to make sure that I get the most out of it. So again, clean my eyes, clean my eyes. You can happily leave your eyes like this. It won't dry out or anything like that. But what I generally tend to do is then I will use my normal facial moisturizer over the top, and that will be it for the rest of the day. Now, the reason I've mentioned this as a side note is that sometimes I will use this as well as this, or not this and just this. What you need to do with a flannel is you need to run it under the most boiling hot water you can possible. Rinse it all out and then place it on top of your eye as much as you can bear it. It has to be as hot as possible because those glands need to melt, and they will not always melt. Even at this temperature, they won't. I'll show you what else I use. There's always something else. And then what I will do is sometimes in the morning or in the evening, depending on how my eyes are feeling, if there's a lot of dry skin, some of you will have very, very severe blepharitis and you will have a lot of dryness, a lot of crustiness, and it will look like scaly skin. And the only way to remove it, because this can only do so much, your eyes need to be very soft and very, very moist. You know, the same way it is when you have had a bath and you can rub your hands over your skin, and we call it mal in my culture. I don't know what it's called in English, but you know, you get all that dirt that kind of comes off and it flakes off, it sloughs off. That you can have happen with all that dry skin. So what I do is I will put this under the most boiling hot water, and then I will rub it backwards and forwards. And what will happen is that dead skin will start to come off. And then once you've done that, you go in with the coconut oil and the tea tree oil. I prefer to either do that last thing at night if there's a lot of dry skin there, or when I've woken up in the morning. Now, another thing that I use, and I tend to use this maybe once a week, and I can do that now because my blepharitis is almost gone, is use this here. This is called the Optase Moist Heat Mask. Now, this is the one that I use. I paid £10 for it, but I think you can get it cheaper. It's from the same brand as the tea tree wipes, and I'm sure there are other places where you can get other similar things. So this is basically, it's called a reusable mask for soothing effective relief of dry eye, blepharitis, MGD, chalazion and styes. So it's used for a variety of different things and for soothing your eyes basically. So what it comes in this little pouch right here, and inside here is, as it says, an eye mask. So sexy. It says right here, no added water needed, easy to use, ready in seconds, washable and reusable, soft and comfortable to wear. It will not support the growth of bacteria or fungi. A heat mask requires no special covers, will not dry out, dissolve or develop outdoors. Now what you're supposed to do is you're meant to, it's got these weird beads in it, can you hear it? It reminds me of like a beanbag. And what you do is you put it in the microwave, and it says you put it in the microwave for 25 seconds on full power. Always touch with fingers first to test the temperature before applying to closed eyes. What I tend to do is I'll put it in for about 25 to 30 seconds and I will just rest it on my hands. If it's too hot to even hold in my hand, I know it's too hot to put on my eyes. Yeah, because obviously it's got to be as comfortable as possible. But the whole purpose of using this is that those oil glands that are blocked, the heat has to be at a certain high temperature in order for those oil glands to start to melt. So that is the whole purpose of having to use this and using this once a week, for me anyway. If you've got severe blepharitis, I would probably say use it every other day. If necessary, allow the heat mask to cool for 1 minute and retest. For additional heat, microwave for 5 seconds. Do not exceed a maximum of 30 seconds of heating. The heat mask remains hot for 30 minutes. If reused within 30 minutes, reduce heating time by 10 seconds. It says, for best results, apply the heat mask to closed eyes for 10 minutes per treatment, or as recommended by your eye specialist. So what I tend to do is I will put it on my eyes, got one of them sticky things here, go like this, and then I'll tie it back here. And I will listen to music or something like that. So what will happen is this needs to be very hot to the point of almost uncomfortable. It will start to feel wet underneath your eyes. But the funny thing is I'll take it off and it's not wet anymore. It's actually the oil, but you can't see the oil. That's the weird thing. I put it on for 10 minutes and it feels very, very hot. But I know that it needs to be. So I'll keep my eyes closed. I tend to do it before I go to bed. Don't bother doing it in the middle of the day. There's no point. Once you've taken it off, then what you do is you take your ring finger, place it on your eye like this, and just gently start to massage your eyes like this. What will happen is you will start to push down and out the oil. You cannot see the oil. Don't try and get a microscope out and try to see if you can see any oil. It is invisible to the naked eye. But what you are actually in effect doing is unclogging and unblocking those oil glands. And then once I've done that, I will use the tea tree oil, coconut oil, and go to bed. And now I'm going to show you how I clean my eyes when I have got eye makeup on. Now the thing is, the reason why I kept reoccurring is because I kept wearing liquid eyeliner, which is a big no-no if you've got blepharitis, because it sticks to the skin and it blocks any air getting to that area, and it in effect kind of chokes and suffocates the area, which is unwell. And the same with eyelash glue and fake eyelashes. So try to avoid them altogether, including mascara, because mascara is a chemical that you are actually putting on your eyelashes, which can again then affect that area, which you don't want. Now, I have been using eyeshadow. I've been using Colourpop Super Shock eyeshadows because they're quite easy and to just apply to the finger and just kind of dab it over it. And your natural oils in your eyes will still come through, but it doesn't clog and suffocate that area. Anything liquid based is then going to dry down and stick, and that's what you don't want. So anything liquid based in terms of makeup, don't use it. So liquid eyeshadows, liquid eyeliner. Now to remove any kind of eye makeup, and I would suggest this for people as a general because it works for quite a lot of people. This one here is called Blephasol. Now I got this again from my online chemist. It costs like £7, 100ml, and one of these lasts me, I would say, about a month. Now I'll just read off of the box what it says. Blephasol is recommended for the daily hygiene of sensitive eyelids, particularly the edge of the eyelids between the eyelashes and the surface of the eye. Blephasol does not contain any alcohol, detergents or preservatives. It has an oil and water mix to gently remove dirt, crusts, dried mucus and makeup from eyelids and the base of the eyelashes without irritating the eyes or damaging skin. I have managed to get this inside my eye and it does not burn. It is amazing. Even if you don't have blepharitis but you've got sensitive eyes, this is amazing to use. And you know what? It actually does remove anything, because those days where I stupidly did wear liquid eyeliner and false eyelashes, it removed all of that as well very, very easily. And I highly, highly recommend it. So all you need to do is just soak a cotton pad and then just wipe it across the eye. And that is literally all I do, especially if I've got concealer on my lower lash line, because the blepharitis is not affecting my lower lids like it did before. Because what can happen is, if you've got severe blepharitis, which I don't have, it's not just your top of your eyelids that is affected, it's underneath as well. That whole area is swollen. So very nicely and easily, I can just open my eye and just run it between the top and the bottom lid line, and it cleans it and keeps it fresh. It does not dry out my eyes or anything like that, because I have in the past, before I've gone to the gym or something, just cleaned my eyes quickly and gone to the gym. Not moisturized or anything. It doesn't dry anything out. It feels great, if anything. And now the last thing I'm going to show you guys is just the eye drops that I've been using. It was recommended by my optician. It's called Thealoz Duo. I don't know. You can read that there. And it protects, hydrates and lubricates the eyes. This is actually a sample. I think I need to actually buy the full one. And then all I do, little drop there, little drop there, and it'll keep my eyelids moist throughout the day. Because one thing with blepharitis, I'm sure maybe you guys have noticed in some of my videos that my eyes are a little bit red. That's because I suffer from dry eye syndrome. And that's the reason why my eyes go slightly red. So that's it. Hopefully I've shown you guys plenty to go on. Lots to help you with your blepharitis and other dry skin conditions as well. This is also great for dermatitis. I think it's also great for eczema as well. These are all long-term conditions. Don't expect that anything is going to change overnight. The fact that I have worn heavy makeup in between has definitely not helped, but I am definitely on the road to recovery. So for those of you out there, hopefully I have helped some of you out there. I'm sorry if this video is a little bit long. I don't like a lot of videos that I see online when it comes to medical conditions that are over and done with within 5 minutes, not giving enough detail, not explaining things properly. Everybody's different, everybody's eyes are different, everybody's conditions are different, everybody's blepharitis is different as well. If you've got any comments or questions about blepharitis, if I've confused you with anything, or if you want me to give you specific help for your issue, ask me below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said, I think that I understand how it works very well now, how to stop it getting worse and how to make it better a lot quicker. So that's it for my video. Hope you guys enjoy. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.